Now on CoastTV News.
Investing in schools.
These kids need as much as they can for education.
The big cost and the bigger question.
Beach business blues.
It's just so much slower than it is during the normal season.
Labor Day signaling a shift, what that means for stores after the holiday weekend.
A Labor Day weekend masterpiece on Del Mar, but mild sunny afternoons, cool crisp nights. How long does it stick around? The details next.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Plans to expand Indian River High School. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. We begin tonight with the Indian River School District trying to get state approval for a multi-million-dollar expansion.
The Indian River School District says Indian River High School is already 100 students over capacity, and they're only growing. The school district wants to build a career and technical education center on the grounds of Indian River High School. That's where there would be space for programs like JROTC, culinary programs, and more. But to build all that, as Brandon Ferguson shows us, the district needs money from the state.
$36 million. That's how much the Indian River School District anticipates a new career, technical, and education center for the Indian River High School would cost.
These kids need as much as they can for education.
Deputy Superintendent for the Indian River School District, Renee Jerns, says a new center would provide much needed space for the overcrowded high school.
So I would hope that they would support a referendum that would allow us to continue building culinary as well as our other CTE programs, because this CTE center would provide state space for more expansion for all of them.
The district says these programs you see here would benefit from the center. If approved, the state would fund 60% of the project, with the district responsible for the remaining 40%. But that 40% would come from a referendum, and the past two attempts have failed.
One man I spoke to off camera here in Millsboro says he doesn't know why the school district thinks another referendum would pass.
Jerns says she hopes for a different referendum outcome if this proposal even makes it that far, as it's pending state approval.
I do believe, though, when it comes to projects such as this with the culinary, and knowing that the southern end of our district is close to the beach areas where tourism, hospitality is a very much needed trade.
Dagsboro local Armando Graziosi voted yes in previous referendums and plans to do the same if this project gets that far.
The way I look at it is these children need it and these teenagers need a break. And I think, yes, I would do it.
A big price tag for big plans. But first, the state will have its say.
That was Brandon Ferguson reporting. And for reference on when Indian River could find out if they get approved for that CTE, last year, Cape Henlopen submitted a certificate of necessity in August. They got their response from the state in November. Over at Sussex Central, which is also in the Indian River School District, they have expanded with a new high school. We have some images of it right here. And according to Indian River Superintendent Jay Owens, the upgrade there at Sussex Central was badly needed.
It really outgrew our last school. It was built for 1,500 students, and we'll be greeted by around 2,100 students here at Sussex Central High School next week. So definitely outgrew the previous school, and we're ready for a new location.
Now, if you remember, the district did try to pass two different funding referendums earlier this year. Both were rejected. The first in March wanted funding for operating costs and the recruitment and keeping of staff. Then in June, voters turned down a second modified proposal that asked for $22.5 million in additional funding to help cover costs and keep salaries competitive.
This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, would you support another referendum to fund school upgrades?
And you see here 62%, that's gone up, say no new taxes. 31% say yes, and 7% say maybe.
If you haven't voted yet, if you want to leave a comment, go to coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile website. As the Indian River School District looks to the future to expand, students and teachers across Sussex County, they're preparing to go back to school right now. Coast TV's Elisa Weber shows us how local teachers are preparing for the new year and shares some important safety information.
And just like that, it's back to school time. But for Courtney Lee, a 4th grade teacher at Lulu M. Ross Elementary, summer break never really means disconnecting from her job.
I think we all never turn our teacher brain off. I think that's kind of an attribute of being a teacher. We're just all eagerly awaiting our students to return.
Teachers have the opportunity to leave a lasting impression on their students, something Amanda Howard, a kindergarten teacher at Longneck Elementary, experienced firsthand.
I have wanted to become a teacher since I was in kindergarten, and I have wanted to be a kindergarten teacher since I was in kindergarten. I did have a really amazing kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Boylan, and I just remember her being so kind, and we were allowed to do it was play back then, so all we did, we played, we learned, we did letters, but I do remember her being very involved and very kind, and I just want to be that for somebody and make that experience like I had, so that maybe one day they're like, I love school so much, I just can't get away from it.
A new school year brings a fresh start. The classrooms are clean, the decorations are in place, and the anticipation for the year ahead is ever growing.
When they're coming in, they're excited, they're bringing their supplies in, they're going to see who their best friends are here, they're going to create new friends. It's just a welcoming, fun, loving environment.
As students get ready to head back to school, we're going to see more school buses like these out on the roads. According to DelDOT in 2024, there were a total of 173 school bus related crashes in Delaware, 36 of those happening in Sussex County.
DelDOT is reminding drivers to always double-check crosswalks, use caution in school zones, never tailgate a school bus, and stop when the stop sign arm is extended. This stop sign is not a suggestion. Unfortunately, we live in a world where students' worries don't just revolve around getting good grades and making new friends. Safety is also a top concern. That's why the Delaware School Safety Center says it provides resources like emergency training, support for school safety grants, an anonymous reporting application, and more.
Being prepared is extremely important, right? So investing on that front end, when anyone's prepared for where they're going to be, or mainly to respond to something, they're going to do their job better.
For CoastTV News, I'm Elisa Weber.
Labor Day weekend is widely considered the unofficial end to the summer season, and things here on the coast, they do tend to slow down after that. CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken is live in Rehoboth Beach. Emma, shops had mixed feelings on what the weekend means to them.
Charlie, I'm here in the nation's summer capital where people are enjoying a beautiful start to the holiday weekend, but it is just that, the nation's summer capital. Businesses here in Rehoboth tell us after this weekend, sales start to nosedive. Interestingly, though, over in Lewes, one store says that's not at all the case. Co-owner of Surf Shack here in Rehoboth tells us this weekend marks the time when sales really start to go down, especially selling summer items like bathing suits, towels, sunscreen. She says the winter months can be especially tough, but that they're used to it. Over in Lewes at Deanna's clothing store, they agreed that Labor Day weekend acts as the last hurrah, but for Deanna's, this time actually marks the start of a surge.
At our store, September is our biggest month, followed by October. And so we are looking forward to the next 2 months, and then before you know it, you're into holiday, and that's a whole other great, opportunity.
Most businesses we spoke with say the main difference is just going from having that consistent surge of customers all throughout the week to only seeing customers on the weekends. Reporting live here in Rehoboth Beach, Emma Aiken, CoastTV News.
Well, speaking of the Labor Day weekend, we're taking a live look at the Bay Bridge in Maryland, and you can just see this steady traffic. It's been going all day, cars heading on over, and according to the Maryland Transportation Authority, there's expected to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000 cars crossing this major roadway over the weekend. The Maryland Department of Transportation also says, here are the best times to travel over the Bay Bridge this weekend. Today before 10 a.m., well, we've missed that, and after 9 p.m., tomorrow before 9 a.m. and after 6 p.m., Sunday before 11 a.m. and after 6 p.m., and then Monday, Labor Day, before 10 a.m. and then not again until after 10 p.m. Verizon has a new cell tower up and running in Milton. A Verizon spokesperson says the new site is designed to give better coverage and more capacity to the residential neighborhoods around here. So if you live in the part of town that we're located in here in Milton, you might notice stronger signal and even fewer dropped calls.
Let's hope for that. Well, let's also hope for a beautiful weekend as we take a live look into Rehoboth Beach. Well, we've got a little bit of technical difficulties there. I guess we need to remind us tomorrow to restart that computer. But no need to restart our forecast. We have Chris with us right now.
Good evening, Maddie and Charlie. I'll tell you what, not much to complain about in the weather department. If someone's complaining about this, I can't do anything for you because it's just plenty clear out there. Rehoboth Beach, 80 degrees, dew point 52, very dry out there. 77 in Milton, we're at 78 in Milford, 78 Seaford, and 78 in Salisbury. Be a little bit breezy here, at least through the evening hours. Could see some gusts, 20, 25. It's all have a cold front that's actually pushing through the peninsula as we speak. And really what that's going to do is just kind of reinforce this cool, dry air mass that we have in place. So a gorgeous evening. We'll fall to 71 by around 8. Tonight, we're going to dip, well, into the mid-50s, and it gets even cooler some nights here and through the Labor Day weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in that full 7-day forecast.
All right, Chris, thank you. Updates tonight for drivers in Lewes. Reconstruction in 5 Points, making some progress. Follow me on this one. According to DelDOT, earlier utility work has started near Old Orchard Road. You see it there. And it must be done before construction can start in 2026. Now, drivers in the 5 Points area can expect detours. Clay and Marsh Road will close off for points of the project, as well as West Coates Road. Again, Old Orchard will realign to create a new 4-way stop there at Old Orchard, West Coates, and Marsh Road. DelDOT says the project will last about 2 years, mostly funded by federal money and some state dollars. And we have a lot more news to get to this evening.
Delaware lifeguards aren't just keeping swimmers safe. Our lifeguards are also proving that they're some of the best in the country.
Well, we are going to have one of our coolest Labor Days in recent memory. Temperatures in the 70s, overnight lows, 40s and 50s. And the good news is the umbrellas could collect dust this weekend because not expecting any raindrops until at least mid to late week. We'll talk about that full 7-day forecast here in minutes.
But first, we've got fun ways to say goodbye to the summer and this week's cool things to do. We're back in just 60 seconds.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Labor Day weekend, it is here, the unofficial end of summer, but before the season slips away, we have a little bit more fun.
Christina DiRobertis has all your cool things to do this weekend.
You may be sad, summer is winding down, but around here, we don't just say goodbye to summer. In Bethany Beach, it's time for a funeral. A jazz funeral, to be exact. Head to the north end of the Bethany Boardwalk on Labor Day Monday at 5:30. New Orleans-style bands set the mood as the funeral parade makes its way to the bandstand for a final farewell. You can also head to Rehoboth for Zelke's Summer Send-Off, a whole weekend of deals and surprises, and on Sunday at noon, things get serious. If you've ever wanted your own arcade game, the Last Hand Standing contest could win you one. If you're looking for something on the water, Cape Water Tours in Lewes is hosting a dolphin sunset cruise on Saturday from the Lewes Ferry Terminal. In Kent County, you can catch Labor Day fireworks at Bally's Dover Casino on Sunday. The show starts around 8:15. Sunday is also National Eat Outside Day, and around here, you've got plenty of options. The Big Chill Beach Club in Bethany Beach is even offering up some off-season specials. You can find more details on CoastTV.com. Just click on Cool Things to Do.
Well, if you're kicking off your holiday weekend with some golfing, boy, I'll tell you what, picture perfect, mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, and it gets even better as the weekend progresses. We'll talk more about that right after the break. It's a gorgeous evening to eat outside in Lewes, temperature of 80 degrees, dew point 59. See those winds out of the northwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and will fall to around 73 by around 8 under partly cloudy skies. We're at 76 in Long Neck, 76 Millsboro, 78 in Seaford, and 77 in Georgetown after we hit a high of 79 degrees as this cooler than average August continues, and you can see those winds gusting upwards of 15 to 13 miles an hour. Could see some gusts 20 to 25 all ahead of this cold front that's pushing through. Dew points are in the 40s and 50s, so this cold front is just going to reinforce this cool Canadian air. We have an area of low pressure well up in Canada and this high here, and that has helped bringing that cool dry air to the south. rain chances are going to be far and few between here over the next 7 days. It's not really until Wednesday, maybe Thursday of next week where we see rain move back into the peninsula. 54 inland to 63 at the coast tonight under partly cloudy skies. A comfortable, gorgeous start to the weekend. 76 along the coast, so highs tomorrow generally between about 75 to 79 whether you're at the coast or inland. Plenty of blue skies through the afternoon tomorrow, and by Sunday night, some of us interior Delmarva could dip in the upper 40s to lower 50s. A gorgeous Sunday as well. We're in the upper 70s, and we're going to continue the sunshine and beautiful weather into Labor Day. So a triple 77s there from Saturday into your Labor Day in Chickateague. Low risk of rip currents along the coast this weekend, which is good news. Lower to mid 70s in Ocean City and Fenwick Island. And as we make our way up to Lewes, 75 on Saturday, and looking at temperatures generally in the upper 70s as we go into the day on Sunday. So high pressure really is going to be dominating our weather pattern here as we go into the start of next week. That system to the south is really going to be suppressed through most of the week. It's not until Thursday, maybe that system kind of creeps up the coast as a cold front is pushing eastward, and that may give us a round of rain Thursday into Friday. But overall, this dry stretch of weather continues. Our Labor Day, 76 degrees under mostly sunny skies. We stay dry into Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the upper 70s, and we have the debut of Sunday Night Football on Thursday night on NBC right here on Coast TV. The Eagles and Cowboys, looking forward to that. And we're looking at that rain moving in by Friday with a high of 77 degrees.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
The Friday night lights are here, and we've got a Virginia versus Delaware battle over on DSN. Arcadia is hosting Laurel right now. Kickoff was at 6, and the Firebirds have chosen to trust junior quarterback Carson Wallace. He's only played one game under center his whole life. He was previously a defensive back, but head coach Mike Terrell has made sure Wallace is ready.
We really test him. So even this week, we put him through a lot, run a scout team for what we believe Laurel will show, their multiple defenses, looks, and so it's been good. He's held his own against Isle of Wight this past Friday night, had a touchdown pass, and then against CSD, also had a nice long touchdown pass as well. So yeah, he's holding his own very well, running the offense, very proud of him.
Like I said, Arcadia versus Laurel is over on DSN right now. Plus, there's 4 games streaming on DSN Plus tonight. Brandywine at Mount Pleasant is well underway. Polytech and Seaford started their games at 6. And how about a Pennsylvania school coming down to play Sussex Central at 7? If you missed those games, you can tune into the final score at 11 o'clock tonight for all of the highlights. That's it for sports. Have a great night.
Delaware State Beach Patrol helped bring home a national championship for the 2nd year in a row. This was at the U.S. Life Saving Association competition. Little round of applause for them.
Nice. Congratulations there. And we have a cold front pushing through. It's going to keep us really nice and dry through the Labor Day weekend. Pair of 76 through the Labor Day, and boy, I'll tell you what, just a picture-perfect weekend with a low risk of rip currents. Mark Amberg, Selbyville, Delaware, you're the winner of our Paul Davis umbrella, and you get your latest forecast by dialing the First Alert Weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead, Mondalis, and Federico. And this dry weather is going to continue at least through the start of next week. We're at 77, 78, and the day everybody's waiting for, the start of the NFL season. We have Sunday Night Football there on Thursday night right here on NBC. We're on Coast TV, looking pretty good there. And then there we see a chance of rain coming in on Friday.
All right, Chris, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.